Tanuj Virwani, thank you so much for joining me at E-Times.
Sir, it's always a pleasure chatting with you. You know that.
Amazing. What's this new look? What's it all about? Where are you?
Oh. I'm in Lonavala right now at a farmhouse. This is my lockdown 2021 edition look. I just figured since no one's shooting these days, let me experiment a bit, have a bit of fun. You never know, might just use something like that in one of my upcoming projects. So yeah.
Wow. किसने suggest किया है या फिर आपका ही खुद का ही innovation है ये?
Actually, my hairstylist Casey, who collaborates with me on all my projects, she's like, why don't you do something hatke? So I'm like, ठीक है, pick a color, let's do it. So she gave me a couple of options, and this is what we zeroed down in. Yeah.
What we see is you're continuously getting work nowadays in the form of shows, and just go back and compare it to the time when you were struggling to make a mark in the street.
Yes.
How would you describe the feeling now and then?
So I feel that there's a clear demarcation in my career trajectory so far. I look at life before Inside Edge and after Inside Edge. And also with the OTT platforms becoming and blowing up in such a big way, it's provided so much of work for actors like myself. The first 3.5 years were very difficult, right from landing my first movie. Because initially it was supposed to be Purani Jeans for the B.R. Chopra manner, but unfortunately Ravi sir was not well and eventually he passed away, God bless his soul. So that didn't happen. Then I started with Joe Rajan's Love You Sonio. We had trouble selling the movie, unfortunately. Then eventually Viacom came on board. But by then it had already started looking like a bit of a dated product, Then I did Purani Jeans and I was very excited because I signed a 3-film contract with Eros International. And for any newcomer, that's like a pretty big win. But unfortunately, even though the movie had its heart in its right place, I just feel the script did not translate into the execution. And I guess wrong release timing. So that didn't do well either. Then I decided, okay, fine, let's try something different. So I did the movie with Sunny Leone, which I still stand by in a big way because I feel it had something important to say about the infidelity in relationships and why should there be different rules for men and women. The movie I'm talking about is One Night Stand. And even though the music, especially the song Ijazat, turned out to be a very big hit, the movie itself did not click at the box office. So next thing I know, I'm in box office prison. People don't want to employ me. They want to make me hero's brother. They want to make me the villain. They want to not make me anything but what I set out to become. And ironically, just as fate would have it, I still remember it's the 5th of May 2016. I've just gotten out of gone out for the interval for One Night Stand at PVR, and I get a call from Excel and they're like, hey, a few months back you tested for this project. Back then it was called Power Play. It was not called Inside Edge. And I'm like, yeah, of course. They're like, so we're going to be doing it in collaboration with Amazon, and we want you to come in and just like figure it out because you are on board. And I'm like, done. I literally want to leave my own movie and go and sign that project right there and there. So I just feel everybody has their own destiny. And what are the odds of my film releasing, not performing to expectations, and then me getting the break of a lifetime on the very same day, 5th of May 2016. It's a day that I will never forget for the rest of my life. Yeah.
You said you still stand by that One Night Stand. Were there people who advised you at the onset of it that don't go for this movie?
Yes, there were a considerable amount of people who were like, oh, it's a Sunny Leone film. You'll have like second billing. Oh, it might just be another sexy kind of movie and stuff. Look at the title of the film. I'm like, you know what? Everything you say makes sense. But for me, after having read the script and after having gotten to know, okay, this is what my character's like and this is how I can play it. And also the fact that it was a largely female-oriented film and also a lot of women involved. Our writer was a woman, obviously Sunny and Naira, women, our director Jasmine, women. So because of that, I felt that there would be a certain amount of sensitivity with which the subject matter would be treated. So that's what, and I have absolutely no regrets. I have no regrets about any of the work I've done so far because I feel even in failure, there is a lot that one learns. Sometimes you actually learn a lot more when you fail because when you're doing well, like say, for example, when Inside Edge did well, I was on cloud 9, people suddenly started looking at me in such a different light. So I don't know how much I learned from that because it was highly successful, right? But with projects which you've put your heart into, poured your heart and soul into and stuff, and then they don't perform and all. So that really hits you initially. But once you get over that, then you learn that, okay, this is what is lacking in me. Instead of pointing fingers at 10,000 other reasons of people, See, audiences at the end of the day, the judge, jury, and executioner. They can make you a star, or they can make sure you never get work again. It's as simple as that. So I've learned that hard fact and a harsh reality very early on in my career. So I'm just trying to implement it. And also, sir, I'm aware that you're only as good or as bad as your last project. You know, like now in 2021, I can't rest on the laurels of Inside Edge that happened in 2017 and then whatever the season 2 and so on and so forth. I have to grow out of that. That was a good jumping board, but now I have to take it to the next level. At least that's the hope and intention. Yeah.
I would like to ask you here, because this OTT bubble has grown further and further.
Yeah.
But once the COVID numbers drop, do you think this bubble remains as robust as it is now?
That's a very interesting question. See, there's no way, there's no scientific way to determine what exactly will happen. But my opinion on this matter is that we're going to reach a point in the very near future where there is going to be an ecosystem where you have television, you have the OTTs, and of course film, which for any actor is like the end game, which I feel is the pinnacle for any actor, because who doesn't want to do movies? If they're saying they don't want to do movies, they're lying through their teeth. Me too. I would really love to be back in the movies, but it must be something of substance, and it must be a substantial role. So I feel, filmmaking is more of a director's medium, but OTT space is more of a writer's medium. A case in point being, we have done 3 seasons of Inside Edge now, and we've had like four directors. We had Karan and Guru in season 1, we had Akash Bhatia in season 2, and we have another director, Kanishk Verma, for season 3. But the writing team, the writer's room, pretty much stays intact, and they're the ones who really drive the story ahead, because it's long format storytelling. Though thoda alag hota hai. So I feel there's a space for everything. Watching a movie in the cinema is more of a community experience. You want to watch a Salman Khan or a Shah Rukh Khan movie with people. You don't want to watch it alone on your phone or on your tablet. At the same time, there's certain content that you may want to watch individually, because it's more of an individual experience. So I think that's where OTTs come in. But of course, I mean, the movie theaters loss has been OTTs gain in the past 14 months, no doubt about that, because we have been deprived and devoid of any sort of content. We can't go to the cinemas. Briefly, I think in the middle we could go, but not too many people were going. There weren't too many releases. So it's interesting. And I feel something good will eventually come out of this, even though we are in a really, really sad and bad situation currently, even as an industry and even like as a society. But I feel something good will come out of it. Yeah.
Murder Meri Jaan, you're next. How confident are you of that one?
So this was one of those last minute projects. I mean, like it's so funny. I was sitting at a farmhouse on the 29th of January this year, and I get a call from the same casting director who cast me for Inside Edge. He's like, "Bhai, sun le, achhi kahani hai, it's different. You have not done something like that before," and all that. I heard the story. I went back to Bombay next day. I was shooting for another show. My producer and my creator, they came on set. They gave me a narration. I'm like, okay, but when do you want to start it? They're like, we're gonna need you on a flight in the next 24 hours. I'm like, is this a joke? Like, seriously, you want to start shooting 24 hours, but you don't have my measurements. You've not done any readings. You've not fixed the look for me. How are we gonna do this? They're like, no, we will do it somehow. But we're launching this new channel for Hotstar called Quicks, and they want this to be the very first release. So it's going to be shot start to finish in Bhopal. And are you in or are you out? And I'm like, can I tell you by tomorrow morning? They're like, okay, sure, you can tell us by tomorrow. So the next morning, I read the entire script end to end. And I'm like, you know what? Just figure the modalities and the logistics. But in principle, I am on. And that's how the entire ball was set rolling. And that's how Murder Meri Jaan happened. And I'm really happy that I got to do it, because see, as an actor now, so you want to keep challenging yourself. Also, what happens is after Inside Edge, I got offered very similar kind of roles. Ayyash, bad boy with a good heart, yeah, overall, and which is fun to play from time to time. But if I'm giving you the same shtick, role after role, character after character, you're going to get bored and be like, yeah, he's a one-trick pony, isko to aur kuch aata nahi hai. So this offers me a chance to do something different. So I've got my fingers crossed, and I'm hoping that the audience warms up to it. I hope the audience doesn't want to murder me after watching the show.
You spoke about the modalities of the show, Tanuj. I'm tempted to ask, have you hiked your acting fees?
Yes, I have hiked my price, and I've only hiked it because that's what the market has allowed me to. It's very simple. Tomorrow I can be like, "हाँ मुझे 5 crore दे दो." But if the producer or the creators feel like, no, he's not worth that amount of money, they're not going to give that to you. So obviously, like there's a lot of push and pull that goes on. You've got your managers who deal with this and stuff like that. But for me, honestly, touchwood, money has never been the prime reason to ever be a part of any project. But having said that, of course, I mean, like, we work hard, and when people appreciate your work and, you know, your fan base grows and stuff, you are given the opportunity to hike your price, because who knows how long this lasts, right? I mean, like, nothing is constant over here. You know, change is the only constant in this industry. So yeah.
Tell me what's happening at home. Your mom is stuck in Poland.
Yes.
How I think 14-15 months to ho gaye hain.
Yeah, man, I still remember. It's been so I dropped her to the airport March 9, 2020, and at that point I said bye, thinking I'm going to be seeing her by June, you know, because my mom and my Masi have started a series of restaurants in Poland, which I'm very, very proud of. We've got like a Japanese, Chinese, Thai, and two Hindi, one Bollywood themed restaurant and one traditional Indian restaurant. And she's been stuck there because Poland and Europe basically has been going in and out of lockdown. So when her lockdown lifts, then we get into lockdown here. So right now, both of us are in lockdown, though she can travel back to India. But I've advised her, looking at the situation in Mumbai and Maharashtra, that it doesn't really make sense, you know. But it's been awfully difficult for all of us, you know, because as you know, my parents did have the issues a few years back, and they've kind of made peace with it, and they've come back in a big way, for which I'm really thankful and grateful to, because which kid wants to see that happen in his own home, you know? And I just feel it's really bad timing, because dad and me haven't seen mom in the longest time now. And of course, you know, you've got Zoom calls and you've got virtual ways of staying in touch, but there's nothing like physically being there next to your parent, holding their hand, hugging them, telling them you love them. You know, I think that's really something that I've really missed over the past 1 year, especially since it's been such a bad phase for everybody.
So you said that they are back together, and in fact, you spoke to us also last time. I remember that you were instrumental in getting them back with each other. But tell me, is it the same as it was before? Because you know, जब रिश्ते बनते हैं तो बनते जरूर हैं, but एक थोड़ी सी दरार जरूर रह जाती है.
No, of course. That is absolutely correct, and obviously, you know, like, just like Rome was not built in a day. Seriously, similarly, even relationships do not happen in a single day. You know, like, they had a courtship of 3 years. They were married. They've been married for over 35 years now. There were issues in the middle and stuff. So obviously, you know, the rehabilitation process, when they decided to like reconcile and stuff, it did take some time. And like, if I was 18 or 19, maybe I would not have the emotional bandwidth to deal with it. But since I'm older now, and since I myself have been in relationships, and also I understand that it's that no one's right or wrong. It's never going to be black or white, you know. So and much credit to mom and dad both, because, you know, I feel also with age, the chances of one becoming rigid are a lot more, because you get used to being a certain way. But they were very flexible, and I helped in whatever way I could, you know, like maybe just sending them out for a meal alone, or asking them for a quick holiday or getaway without me being there, you know, because obviously when you have a son and stuff and all that, then sometimes I feel like, you know, like it's taking the focus away from them, because it's not my equation with them that needs rehabilitation, it is their equation with each other. So little things like that, and over a period of time, I feel and also because mom's been away for so long now, right? I also feel distance does make the heart grow fonder, you know, like you tend to value the important people in your life a lot more when they're not physically in front of you. So if there's one silver lining we can take as a family out of this entire ordeal of the past 14 months, it would be that. Yeah.
So you mean to say they went out for many dinners together, they went out for a holiday?
Yes, you know, just these little things, sir. You know, yeah, these little things, you know.
Brought them back.
Yeah, you know, like I would be like, "Haan, chal, let's go for dinner," and then the last one I'd be, "Oh, sorry guys, work has come up, I can't make it," and I would like send them, you know, like stuff like that, you know, like a little sly. So yeah.
Well, great to know that. I just hope that she's back in Mumbai very soon.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I wish you all the best for all your forthcoming projects.
Thank you, sir.